Joining us now is Paige Winfield Cunningham, political reporter with the Washington Times, to talk about this. You know, I think this is one of the problems with this issue. You're bombarded with all this information from, different sides, some of it true, some of it not true, some of it misleading. And for regular Americans, it's all very, very confusing. Let's talk a little bit about the debate that's going on. In the aftermath of the Supreme Court decision, many congressional Republicans immediately were saying, all right, we're just going to repeal this. Enough. This is what we're going to have to do. Is that a possibility? Can Congress get something like that done? Definitely not until November, for sure. But that's not going to stop them from trying to do this again. The vote that they're going to hold next week to repeal the whole law is going to be largely symbolic. It's already first time that the House has voted to repeal part or all of the health care law. But by doing this, they're trying to make sure that this is in the forefront, and certainly it will be after the Supreme Court's decision. I think there was some hope, perhaps naive hope from some of us, that once the Supreme Court decision came down, whatever the decision was, that would be it. Okay, here's the law of the land. But obviously that's not going to be the case. It was the opposite. I mean, this decision by Justice Roberts ensured that this is going to be squarely in the middle of the political debate for the next 4 months. And like you said before, it's probably just going to get more confusing because we're going to see both sides hammering their talking points. This question of, is it a tax? Is it a penalty? We're going to see that over and over again. Democrats are going to keep reminding us that Romney supported a similar law. Republicans are going to try to talk about the law being a job killer. So there's going to be a lot of talking points on both sides. And, this isn't going to go away. Is the Obama administration, some in the Obama administration are saying, once, we see more and more of the law take effect, then people will understand it better and will come to accept it and they believe embrace it as well. Is there some truth to that? I think so. The administration has done a sort of a poor job of educating the public. It's really trying to point out the more popular parts of the bill now. The insurance coverage for young adults, the prescription drug benefits, and it will certainly help them if they educate the public more to combat Republicans who are going to be talking a lot about how the law is still unpopular, even though most people don't really know what's in it. Let's talk a little bit about Congress because, we continue to see a divided Congress. We continue to see them on issue after issue, including the student loan, the cost of student loans issue and the doubling of the interest rates and all of that, go down to the 11th hour, some beyond. Typically, we hear that the American people don't like this, and Congress's ratings are very low. They've gone up a little bit, but they're very low. Why is this continuing to happen? Is it just because we're in an election cycle? Well, I think Congress is divided because the country is divided about how to move forward. Now that we have these massive deficits, everybody agrees that we either need to raise taxes or cut spending, but there's no consensus throughout the country and in Congress about how to do that. In the past, you saw bipartisanship because lawmakers were just able to add to the deficit to pass things like the Bush tax cuts and the prescription drug benefits. Now they're not able to do that anymore, and so they're relying on these short-term fixes. It's the only thing that they can gain political consensus for. And like you said, we see a lot of posturing. We see going up to the 11th hour because neither side is willing to cave until it becomes clear that they have to do something. So a lot of 6-month, 1-year fixes, not something that's going to change, in the next couple months. So probably more of the same. All right, Paige Winfield Cunningham with the Washington Times. Thanks for coming in. Very nice to have you here. Thank you. Appreciate it. Allison, back to you.